"That's the wrong trick," she said softly, her voice trembling but sure. The Millionaire CEO froze, his hand hovering midair, the pen inches away from signing a $200 million deal that could change everything. The entire boardroom went silent. No one dared breathe. Who was this new cashier, and how did she even end up here, interrupting one of the biggest business transactions in the city's history? The story began just 2 weeks earlier in a small coffee shop on the corner of Maple and Fifth. Amelia had started her first day as a cashier after losing her last job at a local diner that had shut down overnight. Her mother was sick, rent was overdue, and her little brother had dropped out of school to work odd jobs. Life had hit her harder than she could handle, but Amelia still smiled, because she had to. Her kindness wasn't weakness, it was survival. The cafe was quiet that morning when a tall, tired-looking man in an expensive gray suit walked in. His eyes were sharp but weary, his tie loosened as though he'd been fighting battles no one could see. Amelia greeted him with her usual warmth. "Good morning, sir. What can I get for you?" she asked. He hesitated for a second before replying, "Just coffee, black, strong." She noticed the deep lines on his face, not just from age but from exhaustion. "Rough morning?" she asked lightly, handing him his cup. He smirked faintly. "Rough life," he muttered. But then something about her gentle curiosity made him stop. Most people wanted something from him, deals, favors, attention. But this girl, she just seemed to care. She smiled. "Then I hope your coffee makes it a little better." He looked at her, really looked at her for the first time. There was something disarming about her simplicity. "What's your name?" he asked. "Amelia." "Nice name," he murmured, dropping a large tip in the jar before leaving. What Amelia didn't know was that the man she just served was Ethan Graves, CEO of the massive tech conglomerate Graves Innovations, known for ruthless negotiations and billion-dollar mergers. To her, he was just another tired soul who needed kindness. Over the next few days, Ethan found himself returning to that same cafe. He told himself it was for the coffee, but deep down he knew it was. It was the way Amelia spoke to him, without fear, without hidden motives. She made him laugh, something he hadn't done genuinely in years, and each time he left he felt a little lighter. One afternoon, as he sat at his usual table, he overheard Amelia talking to her coworker. She didn't know he was listening. "I just hope I can save enough for Mom's medicine," she whispered. "The insurance won't cover it, but I'll figure something out. I always do." Ethan's heart tightened. For all his wealth and influence, he felt powerless in his personal life. His wife had left years ago, taking their son and leaving him to drown in his empire. Money hadn't bought him peace or love or meaning. But here was this young woman, fighting the world with nothing but courage and kindness, and somehow she had more strength than he did. The next morning, Ethan made a quiet decision. He wanted to help her, but not as a savior. He wanted to see her, to understand her spirit. So he arranged something unusual. A week later, Amelia received an unexpected message from the cafe manager. "Corporate, sending someone over tomorrow for a surprise audit. They might ask one of us to help at their HQ store downtown." She didn't think much of it, but when she was chosen to assist at the high-end Graves Innovations cafe branch, she was stunned. It was a massive opportunity, better pay, better exposure. When she walked into the sleek glass building the next morning, her nerves nearly broke her. Everyone there wore crisp uniforms, moving with robotic precision. She was just a small-town girl with shaky hands and an oversized heart. Still, she told herself, "Smile and do your best, Amelia. That's all you've got." Halfway through her shift, a buzz filled the air. Executives rushed into the lobby, murmuring about a deal worth hundreds of millions. The CEO himself was coming down for a press meeting with investors. When Ethan stepped out of the elevator, their eyes met. Amelia froze. "Mr. Graves," she whispered, realizing who he truly was. He smiled faintly. "So now you know." Her shock barely faded before chaos erupted. A problem had arisen, a technical flaw in the deal presentation. The company they were acquiring had inserted a manipulative clause hidden deep within the numbers. The boardroom was in panic. The analysts had missed it, and Ethan was seconds from signing. Amelia, who had been quietly serving coffee in the corner, saw something others didn't. One of the graphs on the screen looked wrong. She'd seen her brother do similar calculations for his night job in accounting. Something about the percentages didn't match the input data. Before she could stop herself, she spoke up. "That's the wrong trick," she said, her voice shaking but firm. Everyone turned. The executives frowned. "Excuse me?" Ethan asked. She swallowed hard. The profit margin graph, it's been reversed. They're showing growth where there's actually a loss. It's a visual trick, a flipped scale. If you sign this, you'll be paying them for fake performance. A tense silence filled the room. One of the senior executives scoffed. "Who is this girl?" But Ethan didn't dismiss her. He remembered the quiet wisdom in her eyes, the sincerity that couldn't be faked. "Show me," he ordered. Amelia walked to the screen, trembling but determined. She pointed out the error, explaining it in plain, logical terms. Within minutes, Ethan's tech team confirmed her findings. The deal was a fraud. The company had been manipulating data to inflate its valuation.